Social Sciences at the University of Liège. Jeremy will explain what is the University of Liège, and the Faculty of Social Science is actually one of the 11 faculties that we have in this university. We are located in the east of Belgium, in the French-speaking part of the country. As you may know, Belgium is divided into several linguistic communities, essentially Flemish and Francophone. We are a Francophone university, but our program, our Master in Migration and Ethnic Studies, is a full English program, which runs side by side to other social science programs in French. So one of the main features of this training that we will be discussing today is that it's quite international. It's very internationally oriented. Second dimension is that it's a program that was created by a bunch of researchers from this faculty who are active in the Center for Ethnic and Migration Studies, the CEDEM. And that's the second important feature of what we're doing here, is that we are doing research, but trying to bring the fruit of this research into our teaching, into our classes. So there is a strong interaction between the two. So we are here with 4 colleagues. You've just listened to Jérémy Mandin, Dr. Jérémy Mandin, who is coordinating the master. You also have in this room where I'm right now, my colleague, Professor Elsa Mescoli, who is also one of the teacher in this master. But we also have Séverine Marron, who has worked quite a lot with us in order to prepare this session and who is in charge of the communication of our faculty. So what we're going to do during this session is giving you a brief overview of the content of this training, the content of this master, trying also to give you some testimonials from former students that I thank for being here. Karen, who is online, and Elias, who is also present here in the video conference. So we will give you these information, and then we will open the floor for Q&A. And we quite ahead of the beginning of the year. We usually start the classes mid-September, so it's time now to provide you with all the information you may need at this stage. Thank you for being here, and I now give back the floor to Jérémy, who will present a small PowerPoint.
Okay, great. So you see my my presentation online, right? It's
yes.
Yes. I hope so. So yeah, I will give the presentation about the program. So basically, we start with a short presentation of the university and the city of Liège, and then we will dive deeper into the program and its different tracks, including the EU Mix double degree track, which is quite of a specificity also of this program. We also have and then I will end by giving some practical information about the admission process. So, well, the University of Liège, Hassan already began to introduce this. So it's it's a public university of the French-speaking community of Belgium. It was founded in 1870, and we have a number of faculty. And maybe what we can emphasize here is that the campus is divided into 4 campuses. And we have one campus in the city center, but the campus where the program is given is in the Sartillemont, which is about, it's a few kilometers out of the city. It's quite well connected with buses and public transports. So to give you an idea maybe of the city and what it means to follow a program in the city in terms of practicalities. So the accommodations are important. I would say the main provider of accommodation are the privately owned accommodations, which are quite numerous in the city. The prices are usually of the rent are usually between 300 and 500 euros per month. Well, there are some fluctuation of the price during the last years, but it is basically, so maybe you should consider the let's say the higher point of this continuum, but it is one of the city where you can expect to be to find an accommodation for a quite reasonable fee. There are also services from the universities who offers residence rental services for short stays, and there is the contact and the relevant web page here on this slide. Regarding the cost of lives, this is an estimation that we give again, but there are several websites where you can do some estimations of the budget that you need in order to study in Belgium in general and in Liège in particular. So Liège and its university welcomes a large number of international students every year. There are a wide array of events and activities available on the different campuses. You have a lot of sport options with the university associations for sports. And the Liège also organize training or courses, for example, French courses. You have, as I said, the opportunity to do some sports. There are a lot of festivals, exhibitions that you can go in the city. So it's a very lively city. And maybe, yeah, a word about the campus here. So as I said, it's a bit outside of the city, but it's about 30 minutes from the station by bus, a bit less depending of how the public work in the road, but usually it's the connection is can be done quite easily. It is also, as some of you may know, very well connected with other cities. So Liège is very well connected with other Belgian cities, so Brussels, but you are also very close to Maastricht, for example, very close to Germany with cities like Ehren, and so on and so forth. So it's a really central city, I would say. You have also very good train connection with Paris, for example. And Hassan Bousseta already introduced this, but Liège is also a highly diverse and dynamic post-industrial city. And it's also interesting for us in this program because Liège has a very rich history of migration. So it's a city which is both in a migratory situation, but also in a post-migratory situation. So you can see and sense and smell and taste in the city the different migrant populations that have settled in the city. You have a huge presence of Italian restaurants and food, for example. So you can really see that this city has always been a hotspot for migration. So I will continue with a word about the program more specifically. So our Master in Migration and Ethnic Studies. What about the teaching methods and supervision? So The courses combine master lectures, okay, with preparatory work. So it means that students are expected to be active during the lectures. Okay, most of them includes exchanges with the students, and we are very willing to include also the students in the discussions that are produced during the lectures. But we often also ask students for preparatory work for the different classes. It can be readings, it can be writing papers, for example. So all this to say that we usually ask for an active participation of the students, which also means that, and I say this because we had these questions several times, it's important for the students to be here for the courses. So it's a program that needs to be attended in person, and it's important to keep a lively dynamic in the class. So this is the program, okay? This is the program, but in addition to that, so you have your classes, but students are also offered the possibility to attend a large variety of public lectures, seminars, or meetings that are not necessarily included in the curriculum, but very regularly you will receive invitations or information about an event, a conference. Very often all the events that the CEDEM, our research center, is participating in organizing. So it means that beyond the classes and the curriculum, there is also a very lively activities in terms of conference and additional events. In terms, of course, for the master program, one very important element is the master thesis, which I will talk a bit more later. It's a huge part of the second year. And of course, for the master thesis, you will have an academic supervisor. And the master thesis is realized in a dialogue with the academic supervisor, and we value a lot this interaction with the supervisor. So what about the contents of the class and let's say the philosophy or the spirit that we try to infuse in our teaching? Maybe one of the first elements is the multidisciplinary approach that we have on migration and ethnic dynamics and ethnic studies. So it means that depending on the course, you will have courses that will be more oriented toward a sociological approach of the phenomena. You will have courses which are more oriented toward an anthropological approach, or maybe a political science approach, some of the course also touch upon the legal and the political aspects of migration. So if you follow this program, you will have different perspectives on the phenomena of migration. And I mean, this diversity is also reflected on the profile of this multidisciplinary approach, I would say, is also interestingly reflected in the profile of the students that we have in this program. I will talk about it a bit later. The idea of the course is to provide students with a critical views of society while also improving their theoretical, practical, and methodological skills. And I will talk a bit about that a bit later, but an important element of this master is that The CEDEM, the research center, which is at the initiative of the creation of this master, is also a research center that is very well connected internationally. We participate to many international projects, such as the UNIC project, but the CEDEM is also the coordinating team of one of, if not the biggest conference about migration studies, which is IMISCO. So IMISCO is the biggest network about migration studies. And we participate with the organization of the annual conference. So it also creates a very big dynamic around the research center and also the master program. So this is an overview of the different courses that we offer. So this is year one. So maybe I should start by saying that the program is a 2-year program, okay, of 120 credits. And so it's divided to 2 years. Year one, you have 60 credits, and it is here an overview of the different courses that you have. Sociology of migration, migration, transnationalism and development, theories of integration, refugee studies, European immigration policies, research design and methods in migration studies, using quantitative data and methods in migration studies, digital workshop in migration studies, citizenship and political participation of minorities, and sociology of racism and anti-racism. The last courses is related to some of the UMICS activity that I will present a bit later. So it gives you an idea of the multidisciplinarity that we try to have. And it also gives you an idea of the fact that you will have both courses that address the migration dynamic in general, but you will also have courses which will be oriented toward methodology and how to conduct research, in particular the course on research design and the course on using quantitative data. So it is also an occasion for us to put all the students around the table and to also provide the basis that will help you to realize your master thesis during the second year. So as you can see, the second year is includes less courses, but of course the main pieces is the master thesis. Okay, it's 30 credits. You have so the courses about gender, intersectionality and migration, welfare, labor and migration, geopolitics of the Western Mediterranean, art, ethnicity and migration, integration, practices and policies. And you have the master thesis, which is the big piece of the second year, of course. Starting this year, we reorganized the second year, and we put all the courses during the first semester. So the second semester is free for you to do the master thesis. Okay, this was a feedback from the students. So we took it seriously and we reorganized our second year with this objective in mind. The only thing is that we do not keep the students alone during the master thesis, and we organize a support seminar during which students are able to share their experience, to share the problems that they face during their research. And so we keep an active link with the students in order to follow their advancement in terms of the master thesis. So this is about the master in Liège, but as some of you may know, when you start your master in Liège, you have 3 possibilities. Either you do your 2 years in Liège, okay? You can do your 2 years in Liège, it's the first track. You have a second option, which is to do 2 years in Liège with 1 exchange semester in one of the UMICS partner university, which I will present just after this slide, okay? So this is a classical, let's say, Erasmus mobility, okay? So you can spend 1 semester abroad. And then you have the third track, sorry, which is the 2-year double UMICS degree, which means that you spend the first year in Liège, and then you, for the second year, you move in one of our partner university in Europe, and you do your second year in this partner university. And at the end of your second year, you get 2 degrees, 2 diplomas, okay? One from Liège and one from the partner university. So it's a very interesting program for those of you who are interested in visiting other universities. These are the partners. So the first part of the list are the double degree partners. So these are the university where you can do your double degrees program. So Osnabrück in Germany, Malmö in Sweden, Linköping in Sweden, Neuchâtel in Switzerland, A Coruña in Spain, Paris London University in Austria, and of course the University of Liège, which means that so this is for the double degree program, and then you have the rest of the network partners where you can do an exchange semester. Okay, so it gives a large variety of possibilities for students who start their master in Liège. Okay, I will end with some practical information. First, informations are about the admission criteria. Okay, so if some of you visited the websites of the faculty where there is the description of the program, you saw that it is a program in sociology. So it is a program that is primarily designed for students who have a background in social science. By social science, we mean a very broad understanding of social science. So we include sociology, anthropology, economy, humanities, political science. We can also include people from law. We had students from international relations too. So it's kind of a broad understanding of social science. And it also means that if you don't see yourself in this list, it doesn't mean that you cannot be included in the program. So we, in this master program, we accept other types of academic background if the student's academic and or professional experience provide the necessary prerequisites to follow the master's course. So for example, we have students this year who were trained in social work. We have a student who is now in her second year who was trained as a journalist. So it means that we are also looking at a program where we have a diversity of students, and we think that this diversity is really a plus for the program and for the group dynamics during class. So, and I would say that I'm very happy because I don't know if you see this for those online, but we have a couple of students who are with us in the room right now. And as far as I understand, we have people from different academic backgrounds, social work, global studies, right? And social science. So it also reflects in a way, I think, the diversity of the groups that we actually have in our master. So every application is reviewed by our jury, and it is something to keep in mind. It's possible for the jury also to ask students who apply to add some additional courses to their curriculum. We do that sometimes when we have a student that is highly motivated, but who do not necessarily have the necessary academic background. Sometimes we ask the students to either follow an additional courses in methodology or to follow an online class in our MOOC about migration. So it's something that the jury also can decide. So about the admission, here it's a very important slide. So the relevant web page for those of you who want to enroll in our program is this page. So it's on the website of the University of Liège, and it's the page where you will be able to find the online form for enrollment. Okay, that's very important. It's the first step for enrolling in our program. After this step is complete, our jury will evaluate each application, but this is the first step. The applications actually opens in a couple of days. I think it opens on the 17th of February. And the very important information to keep in mind, it's the next slide, is that the time that you have to complete your application depends on your status, okay? So for Belgian students, the registration actually opened in June, okay, and close at the end of September. For EU students, you can start your application from the 17th of February in a couple of days, and you have to complete your application before the 31st of August, okay? But for non-EU students, the application process starts on the 17th of February, but the closing date for application is on the 31st of March. So for non-EU students, it means that I highly encourage you to already, if you consider to apply, to already contact the admission office, the contact of which are in this slide, in order to have an overview of the process and of the different documents that you will have to provide to fill the application. So yes. So that's it for me. I will now maybe invite our two students that are present today, Karen and Elias, to maybe say something about your experience of the program. We can start, I don't know, maybe I see Elias on my screen. So Elias, if you want to start, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Do you hear me? Can you hear me, Jeremy?
Yeah, we can hear you. No worries.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Can you see me too?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect, thank you. So, okay. I will give my little presentation about the experience I had during the first year in Belgium in Liège, and then now the second year in Sweden in Norrköping. First of all, my name, I'm Elias. I'm coming from Malmedy, more or less. I speak French, and I'm interested in researching the links between homelessness and migration. So I'm writing a thesis now about it, and it's going on good. I will give you a little presentation about the things that I was a bit scared about, the question I was asking myself, and the kind of answers that I would have liked to have before enrolling in the master's, let's say by me in the future. So I will start off by saying that I started to study in Liège for the first year. Liège is a small, social, and quite nice city where it's easy to get along with people, get to know a lot of people. And the classroom that we had was also really, how can I say? It was a little bit small and cozy in the way that not many people were engaging in this master's, surprisingly, at first. And a lot of those people were coming from all over the world. We had a girl from Brazil. We had a girl from Ireland. We have Karen from the Netherlands. Me and Aude were from Belgium, and another guy from Ireland. So it was really, how can I say? It was really international, and everyone was there to meet other people. Then It was also quite, I would say, not too stressful to apply. We had to write a cover letter, but if you get the help from a friend, then you can just do it with a friend who has experience. Then you send it out. Then you can talk to Jeremy if you have questions. They were all really nice. So that was not too stressful. However, some questions that I might have liked to have answers to before enrolling were about the courses. So the courses in the first year in Liège, in the first semester, I must say, were a little bit intense in the way that we didn't have too many classes, only like, I think 8 hours a week or something like this, but a lot of work to do home. So this required a little bit of organizational skills in order not to procrastinate too much, not party too much, and then get some work done, because there were some papers to read, some papers to write. But after just a couple of weeks, you get used to it. It's a bit intense, but the teachers are also nice, and sometimes they allow you to extend the deadline. So that was quite helpful. However, since the classrooms were pretty small in Liège, I also think that it was easy to create a bond with the teachers. And if you had questions, if you had problems, you could always say, hey, I have this issue, and they were always, let's say, available to help you. And the other students as well. We would eat for dinner, for lunch, all together in the cafeteria. So this was pretty nice. Now, the only important thing you need to know about Liège is that you have to take a freaking bus that goes from the center to the campus, and this takes quite long, and sometimes has problems because they're still building the tram, I think. And so that was just I don't know about the tram, but that was just a small issue. And now, because I don't need to do too long, I will just say a few words on the UMIX program that I enrolled in. Because as you know, you have the opportunity to do the second year abroad, the whole year, and do the double degree program in another university. I chose to go to Sweden, to Norrköping. So it's a little city in the north, center of Sweden, but compared to Belgium, it's pretty much in the north, where it's currently very cold, very dark, and a bit sad. But it was also a good opportunity to meet a lot of people. So some of the questions I asked myself before going, and that I think could be interesting for you, but of course you can just tell me per email. I will send you my email. You can ask me all the questions you want. I will be happy to reply. Were first, will the UMIX, let's say the European money funding, be enough? Second, will the city or the country correspond my needs? Third, will a different education system, because it's changing countries, changing university, suit my needs too? And fourth, will I have friends? How will my social life be? So, as to the money, it's an important issue. You must know that the grant that you get is quite high. It covers, I think, most of the costs, but it only arrives after like 2 months or 3. For me, it arrived in November. So until this time, you need to cover the expenses yourself. You need to have a little bit of money on the side, which is important to know. Secondly, as to if the city or the country will correspond to your needs, I will say that you could check a little bit of information about the country, search for people who have done an exchange in those countries, and ask yourself just your feeling. How do I feel about going there and there? Sweden as a country has a really nice system of education, so I think it suits my needs pretty much. But this you can ask yourself and try to see for yourself and ask the people. We also have a lot of contacts, so you just send me and Karen a mail and we can give you the contacts of the people who are all over the place, the world. And then the social life and the friends, I think that doing the double degree, it gives you a lot of opportunities to meet new people, because you not only will meet the other double degree students twice a year, but you will also go to another place, live in another university where there will be other exchange students, and you will make tons of friends. So that was pretty much something that I shouldn't be scared about. In the end, I felt good. And yeah, so please ask me some questions. I'm super happy to answer them later too. And thank you. Sorry I got over the time, but thank you.
Thank you very much, Elias. We can hire you as a we can hire you as a local coordinator, as you propose to give a lot of information now. But thank you very much. I think you gave a very honest overview of our program. So
yeah, one thing about the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may say to Elias, we all have this problem with the bus, but hopefully starting from September next year, we will have the busway, which is a new mobility offer, which will increase the number of places for getting to the Sartines Mall. So things are upgrading and getting in the good direction.
Nice, hopefully.
Yes. And so yeah, maybe Karen, I would give you the floor if you're okay. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much. Hi guys, my name is Karen. As Elias already mentioned, I'm originally from the Netherlands, but I also took part in this double degree student mobility thing. So allow me to give you a bit of a different perspective than what Elias was able to give you, because he is a Belgian student. So for him, staying in Liège, I mean, like staying in the same country with the same language, is a bit different than for me as an international student. I mean, like, technically speaking, I only live 2.5 hours away by car, 4 hours by train. But it is still abroad, especially if you take into consideration that everyone around you speaks French. And as already mentioned, of course, the program is in English, which is amazing. That made it very accessible for me as an international student. But do be aware that it's a small university bubble. So the second you step outside of the bubble, you'll speak French, or you'll have to speak French, because I mean, like, unfortunately, most people do not tend to speak French. Thankfully, I already spoke French, so that really helped me. I was already quite fluent, but what I loved about the university is that, as mentioned before, you can take, for example, language courses. So one of the reasons for me to start in Liège, besides the fact that I was very passionate about migration and I wanted to study it, was because Liège was geographically close to me, yet not too far either. In addition to that, I mean, like, I could improve my French as well. So I did that through the university. It was quite accessible. And I really love my teacher. I really love the language courses. And I actually can now proudly say that I have a C1 level in French, which really helped me not only to improve my French, but also to feel more confident. In addition to that, the Liégeois are the people living in Liège, sorry, they are very welcoming. They are very sweet. The local cuisine, I mean, like, it's of course Belgium, so you cannot necessarily speak of a cuisine as same for the Netherlands. But there are a few things such as the Belgian waffles, the Liège waffles. I love those. You should definitely try that if you end up in Liège at some point, whether you decide to study this master's or not. In addition to that, even as an international student, it was quite all right to apply for the master's as well. Just keep an eye on the deadline and make sure that you are on top of things, so that if there is an issue with administration or something, that you can reach out and get it sorted. I agree with Elias. The class was small, but it was very nice. It formed like a less, I mean, like, it was still formal, of course, but a bit more informal. It was easier to talk to teachers if there was an issue or something. And it also created this sense as us, as a little group, like a bunch of warriors fighting and studying together. And it was really nice. I really loved that sense of community. And I'm not going to lie, I miss it. It was a really great time. But I did know that even though I loved Liège and it really broke my heart when I left, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to go further abroad. Like I said, I love Belgium. I have been living there on and off for years now. I speak all the languages over there. But there was just, I mean, like, if you are studying migration for me, it felt really weird to then study migration but not be a migrant myself. And even though I already moved to Liège, I felt like going to another country with another study program, with another bunch of people, another culture, another language again, that I could add once again to my experience as a migrant. And it really did. I love Germany, but it's definitely different than Belgium. Besides the fact that they, of course, speak German, big surprise, is that the bureaucracy is an absolute nightmare. Not gonna lie, the stereotype is true, but once you get things sorted, it's quite nice actually. The people here, once again, are very nice. It's easily accessible. People speak better English as well, generally speaking. However, once again, people do tend to be more comfortable in German. So I mean, like here, once again, you have to, that's, if you start studying migration, you'll learn about this language barrier that there is once you arrive somewhere new. That is a case. Thankfully, like I said, they speak better English. And thankfully, I speak German as well. So it was also for me, once again, an opportunity to not just move abroad and stay close to the Netherlands, but also improve my German. With a bit of luck, I passed my German exams, and I will also have C1 level in German. And what I love about this is that, besides, of course, the language, the program is really nice. It's very interdisciplinary, especially in the second year as well. The group is also a bit bigger. There are about 30 students, give or take. Which provides new insights, new perspectives, and also new teachers that also come from different backgrounds. For example, I took a course on social geography, which is something that I would never have thought to even take as a course, and it was really interesting. There was also something on history, sociology, political science, and so forth, etc., etc. So yeah, I'd say it's overall a very good experience. I would definitely recommend it. It's not just Liège, but also Osnabrück. So if you're interested in this master's, please apply. It's absolutely worth your time. I really enjoy it. I really love it. And like Elias mentioned, if you have a question, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thanks a lot, Karen, for all this feedback. Thank you for both of you. So maybe also to give a bit of context before opening to the questions, Elias and Karen, they both chose the double degree program. So they are in their exchange year abroad, and they will have this double degree at the end of their program. But of course, it's also perfectly fine to do your 2 years in Liège. And sometimes we also have the opportunity to, for example, in the UMIX program currently, it might evolve in the future, but we have events that are organized regularly. And actually, we will meet Karen and Elias on Monday, because we are going to Osnabrück for the winter workshop of the program. So it will be great. But we also bring with us some non-double degree students. So we have 2 students from here that will join us in Osnabrück. So Georgina and Emanuela. So yeah, so it means that there are some. If you chose the program in Liège, it doesn't mean that you will not be able to profit to some of the UMIX activities and so on and so forth. That's something to keep in mind.